It's Sparkling Corwhin, and I'm looking at my parents' garden for their rhubarb, and it's popping up, so it's time. Asparagus as well. Well, that's raspberries right there. Where's asparagus? There's asparagus. You get little spears popping up right now, so it's that time of year. It is too wet though, really, to work the ground, so I've been pulling stuff out. Such as dead plants, such as plastic, such as ground stables, and moving all the irrigation lines that I used because we're going to be ripping this all up, rearranging my plots, getting rid of the 3-foot wide or the 30-inch plots, make it all 6 feet, and work with that. And I've rearranged all my crop rotation. So we just need things to dry out and we can put all that practice, but it doesn't look like the weather's going to cooperate, and it's probably going to be a real rush job to get things in the middle of May, as we start to plant cabbage and kale then. Anyways, my asparagus, I have not weeded it. I'm not weeding it, as I've said in I think a previous video. It's all getting ripped out. It is not economical for me to keep it weed free, and I am not getting much of the big harvest from it, any harvest at all really. It's just a different variety from my parents, and it just hasn't done that great. Maybe the spot's not that great. Maybe it needs something different than what I have for the soil or in climate here. Anyways, my biggest crop is rhubarb, and that's what I'm going to work on now because there's really not a lot I can do. I'm sort of caught up with my outdoor work, but I want to keep ahead because it's going to be rush, like I said, when we're trying to get the ground worked up when it does get dry enough, and then go into other things. So right now I'm just cutting through the cornfield. So yeah, rhubarb is my biggest crop. I expanded during COVID for a cidery, for a on-farm store, and for a friend. And because I was having trouble supplying everybody, they found other suppliers. And then when I was able to have the time, because you only do it once a year, you can only plant once a year, get bigger and expand, everyone found other suppliers. So I have a lot of rhubarb. I might be the biggest grower in Welton County. I don't know, but my biggest crop by volume and by acreage, and it grows well in certain parts of the farm. So I am going to be working on that, and I'll show you what I'm doing with rhubarb today. I have 7 patches and about 3 or 4 different varieties. Where I got the manure, I planted that in the fall. That was an experiment. So for the most part, it looks like the experiment worked. I think I might be missing 1 or 2 that didn't make it. That's one variety. This is another variety here. Anyways, I try to cover them with leaves, using as mulch during the summer. And then I've added some more, and it was dry, and I never got to finishing everything because it had gotten rain. And yeah, I'm waiting for things to dry a little bit so that I can go back to working everything in. Leaf mulch is great for organic matter. And then what I'll do is put more leaf mulch on, and that'll hopefully suppress the weeds. But you can see I got a lot of work to do. I was hoping to till this, and with the roots of the weeds loose, I would be able to shake off the dirt and get rid of the weeds. But I'm going to have to do the weeds first right now because it's still too wet to get a rotiller in here, because that just might muck up everything. Digging up at the roots, dandelions, because they will spread and be here a long time. And I'm looking, and I don't know what this guy is. I really have no idea. It looks like a weed. I'll let it grow and find out. Ground's nice and soft. I can get these out. You want to get as much of the root as possible. And I'm just throwing it over there to the lane so that I can dry out. I want no competitors for the rhubarb for nutrients, water, air, any bit of soil or space. The hardest part is grass. Grass just spreads through its roots really easy. I almost forgot that I was doing a video on rhubarb. I have just been digging so much the weeds out. Thistles only needs a little bit, and all I've done right now is set them back. But anyways, weeding them all out best as I can. Shovel or trowel. Anyway, patch number 7, that's done, so we can get on to the next little bit of what I do with my rhubarb and rototilling. So I started rototilling, and this belt slipped off right here. And here, so yeah, it's soft down there too. I don't think I can reach it. I can't get underneath. Not really. All right, well, so much for trying to get this done before work. Things happen. So I have to wait until the rototiller can be fixed. The belts, I guess they worked originally when it got out of storage, but they're not working now because they're too loose. So one new belt's been purchased, another one's on order. In the meantime, I'm working on putting my chainsaw and my other saws through some paces, working on the forest here. Forest is a mess. I'm trying to open it up with some pathways, so that way we can get a tractor in and out, maybe a wagon on a tractor, and get out some of this wood that's still good. So anyways, there's always downtimes due to malfunctions, due to breakdowns. That's just part of farming. You just have to roll the punches, find something else to do. In a couple days it's supposed to rain, so I'm hoping that things can get back together. And is that tight? I can't remember. Talk too much. There we go. Always put in fuel when you're putting in oil, or oil when you're putting in fuel. You don't want to run a chainsaw without oil. This is winter oil, but I guess that's okay. There's a whole bunch of snowflakes this morning in the sky, so I guess I can still use this. It's a thicker viscosity oil stuff. Chainsaw gets really hot, and it's a lot of moving parts. And once again, I overfilled it out here. Anyways, so we're always doing something, and if you can't do one thing, do another. So this is what I'm working on until I get to work. I was really hoping to do some rototilling, get that done, get the ground dried out a little bit. But yeah, we'll just pivot. Something else for now. I just happened to be passing by this farm. It's about 25 acres of rhubarb. I think it's the largest rhubarb patch, you could say, or farm that supplies rhubarb in Ontario, just north of Shelburne. I'm on my way to pick up seed potatoes, and I always love stopping here and looking how much rhubarb they have. Just insane. Anyway, they're behind too. So yeah, the weather is really holding things up, but it is what it is. Could be worse, could be better. That's how farming goes. One thing I guess I got to start doing, and it's a little soon, but it's happening, is this little flower head here. Cut that off. Basically the whole stem's useless because it's putting its energy into making flower head, and then I'll have seeds. And I don't want the energy doing that. I want the energy going into the stalks to make beautiful stalks. Wow, this is really juicy. Anyways, I want that happening. Right now we need some warm weather. We've had multiple nights of frost warnings this week, and possibly tonight too. It is Mother's Day weekend. So yeah, just waiting for on things and letting the ground dry out a little bit before I put on the mulch here. But this is one of the things I have to watch out for and do when I'm in the garden, because it's happening now. Not all rhubarb plants will do this, but yeah, a lot of them will. So just a walk through with my rhubarb. And if we had some more nights, it could be rhubarb season in the month. I'm not sure. I'm really hoping so. Weather's got to change. Anyway, this was my original row. I had some rhubarb plants provided to me by my mother of her garden. I don't know what variety this is. Picked it up on Mill Road, just outside of Guelph. I'm guessing it's a variety called Victoria. Anyway, I wasn't doing very well growing over here, too close to the trees, shade part of the day. Good soil. So I took about 20-30 plants, cuttings, cut by the roots in the spring. Divide them up, it's pretty easy. Put them over here. And slowly, I've just expanded as I've struggled growing vegetables in the spot. Rhubarb loves it. Loves it, loves it, loves it. And this winter, I planted some more in here. I've had to replace a few, 3 in here. Hence ones like this, they got all the sticks around them. So that proves to me that I can plant in the wintertime and they'll overwinter. So anyways, I've got this here. And then this is tarragon, by the way. And this is ryegrass. This is all gonna be ryegrass. As I downsize, this is gonna be a spot that's just gonna hold the soil in place. And then I found out there was other varieties. And this is German wine. Got this from a nursery down in Flamborough, near Hamilton. And I thought that was pretty cool. These guys are really red, really big, really prominent, very different from the other ones, which I'm calling Victoria. This is going to be ryegrass. The sorghum here died. And then I got finding, who was it, Vessie's? One of the Canadian seed catalogs. They had this variety called Canadian Red. So these guys will not have a lot of stalks, but they will have massive stalks, massive leaves. And this is another area that just didn't really grow anything very well for vegetable wise. A lot of tree roots sucking nutrients and water, a lot of shade. But the rhubarb does well here. I've expanded it over here. I'm getting rid of, is this horehound? No, this is another Minnesota herb. So anyway, this is all going to be meshed together eventually, if I ever have time. So this is just root cuttings there, so I have more Canadian red. And then the German wine needed to be divided up, so I thought, well, why not add a little more? And I needed more, as I could not get enough to those 3 places, or 2 farms anyways, and supply a cidery, which that I guess they've forgotten about me. And I built this spot. Added on a couple rows last year. This would be fabulous. This is a spot, I used to have a black walnut on here. I took that out, reworked the soil, tried to burn out or pull out a lot of the black walnut tree's roots. These guys have really survived. We got more here, more ryegrass. This spot's never done well, too many trees. Anyway, got some lovage here and sweet Sicily. So a friend, his father passed, he was giving me some plants, and he said, would you like some of his rhubarb? The rhubarb was buried in a pot in their yard in Guelph. So I took it, and it's doing really well. I'm gonna have to cut that flowering head there. I got these aren't coming up, so I guess I'll have to split that one. And they've done really well. Looks like I got a little sapling there. I gotta weed my perennial herbs. That's on this week's list. Always look both ways, crossing the railway tracks. So I took some of the German wine and applied it here because only a little bit here was good for vegetables. A little hard to water. This soil is a little more stony over here. And I added this, and I kept adding to it. And kept adding to it. And ta-da! That's the end of the rhubarb I have right now. Now, we go back across the tracks. I had a neighbor suggest I use this hill, but to use it I had to make it flat. Or make it flat, I had to kind of terrace it. So I had this, took some cuttings from here. Also, I moved another rhubarb patch that I had, and I have some extra in pots. Can't keep them in pots forever, so I'm gonna terrace a little bit more. Terracing is a normal farm practice in a lot of parts of the world, thousands and thousands of years old. I've got my stones. I'm going to work on this, but today I got a lot of other things to do. Tomorrow I got a lot of other things to do, and it's going to rain. So it's going to take me a while, but it'll look awesome. This is one of my products or produce items that I would be bringing to market when I was at markets, because I needed something early, because you have to sign up for market, and you're paying for it starting in May long weekend, so you got to have something. And rhubarb was my crop, along with a bit of tarragon and other herbs like lovage and sweet cicely. So it did well, and like I've said before, alluded to not long ago, did expand because I had a couple farms that needed rhubarb, and they wanted it for the May long weekend. And we had a number of dry years, and I just couldn't harvest enough. The plants just weren't yielding enough. So that's why I thought I'd expand. Plus, I gotten connected through Taste Real, the Welton County's in City of Guelph's local food program, with someone in Niagara region. No, someone in Guelph who was having a cidery, and they're going to Niagara region for rhubarb. And I had handshake agreement. They contacted me. Then the following year, I reached out to them, hadn't heard back, no reply. So I keep growing rhubarb, and I've got, for the second year in a row, I've got an ad out in my township's newsletter. And yeah, we'll see. That's all I can do. Rose to the occasion, and yeah, those farms found other people to supply them, just because I didn't have enough. Didn't have enough when it had a couple dry springs. Right now, we just need the spring to start warming up. And I know asparagus is really being held back by the cold nights, and it will shoot up. Asparagus loves some warm nights. And yeah, this is part of the rhubarb video. I'll probably add a few more things in, but rhubarb is my biggest crop. I probably have a tenth of an acre to more than a tenth of an acre. Let's say a fifth of an acre. And I might be the largest grower in Welton County. Definitely in the Halton, South Waterloo, North City, Hamilton area. Yeah, and rhubarb is a great plant. Let me talk about that in a bit. I am harvesting rhubarb a little different. Usually I'll have a 20-liter pail out and just put it in there. I think that just extra work kind of makes it top heavy. So I'm trying it out, just putting it in a basket and seeing how that works. So it's been a couple weeks since I started this whole video for rhubarb. The weather just makes it so unpredictable, as I think, I'm going to show you progress and get through things, and then I have to just pause because everything's at a standstill, everything's stagnant, because the weather will not cooperate to let plants grow. So it is what it is. And I forget what I talked about 2 weeks ago when I started this video. But anyways, I have a lot of rhubarb. Can't figure out what to do with it all, now that the two farms and the cidery in Guelph decided they don't need me anymore, and that's fine. And yeah, I don't want to do pick your own, because that involves a lot of different work, and you have to be around all the time, and you have to have porta potties, you have to have insurance, weigh scales, stuff like that. And I just want to sell. That's all I want to do. It grows great because there's some marginal soil out here by the forests, and also the trees take away a lot of the nutrients because they can outcompete just about anything except for the grasses. But we're working on that. I have about an hour before I have to get everything ready and start expecting customers to come pick up their bonuses as they head home from work. And that's the beauty of the CSA. People on the way home from work, some from Toronto passing through here to Guelph, which is convenient, they will pick up their produce for the week, or get them through 2 weeks, and go on and feed themselves. And that's what I'm trying to do, is feed people locally, sustainably, and with a low carbon footprint, and show that taste matters, local matters, freshness matters. You can't just get it on a truck that's been frozen or who knows how long coming up from Mexico or California. We can't beat them on price points, but we can beat them on quality, taste, and freshness, and the money stays locally. But anyways, I digress. This is the end of the video. I hope you are enjoying your rhubarb. Strawberry season is just about here. I'm going to give it probably 2 weeks until strawberry season. Hopefully the nights warm up a bit as well. Strawberries like some warmth. And then we can have strawberry rhubarb pie, or strawberry rhubarb muffins, or strawberry rhubarb sauce, or strawberry rhubarb jam. Many things you can do with rhubarb and strawberries, which go great together. So thank you for watching, and remember, finish your vegetables, buy something local, be good to each other. We will see you next video.